Welcome to AI Week 2022. We are so excited to welcome all of you from across the globe to 3 days of great content, expert speakers, and world-class innovation. AI Week is hosted by Tel Aviv University's Blavatnik Interdisciplinary Cyber Research Center and the Yuval Ne'eman Workshop for Science, Technology, and Security, together with the Center for Artificial Intelligence and Data Science. AI Week was co-founded by Intel and is supported by the Israel Innovation Authority. This year's event promises to bring fantastic talks, networking, questions, and learning straight to your computer screens. Today's agenda will include panels on AI national strategies and the National Program for Artificial Intelligence Infrastructure. You can also enjoy sessions on AI in finance, AI in security and communications, applied AI, and computer vision. Don't forget to connect with others through our B2B chat, to check out our sponsor pages, and submit your CV to some of the best companies in the field. It's time to begin. Sit back, adjust your computer screens, and enjoy.
Good morning and welcome back to AI Week 2022. Thank you all for being part of a fantastic day yesterday. The speakers were amazing, your questions were fantastic, and it was great to have you here. We are thrilled to have you all here for day 2 of our AI Week 2022. Today, we begin with a discussion focusing on AI national strategies, as well on a panel on National Program for AI Infrastructure, led by the Israeli Innovation Authority. There will also be a session on AI in finance, where the moderator will be Professor Dan Amiram. We will have a session on AI in security and communication and applied AI and computer vision. Before we begin, I want to remind to all of you that our platform allows you to connect and set meeting between all the participants which are coming for this conference from 75 different countries. You can also visit our sponsor partner pages and submit your CVs for these fantastic companies. Our first keynote for today is Dror, the CEO of the Israeli Innovation Authority, an independent public entity that operates for the benefit for the Israeli innovation ecosystem and the Israeli economy as well. We are proud to partner with the Innovation Authority, whose efforts and strength Israeli AI ecosystem are strongly aligned with what we are doing at the Tel Aviv University. So with that, the stage is for you, Mr. Dror.
Thank you, Jacob. Good morning. Let me just share my presentation. As you said, Jacob, the Israeli Innovation Authority is the government agency which is responsible for the growth and the continued success of the Israeli high-tech ecosystem. And I would like to share with you in the next coming minutes why we believe that artificial intelligence is key to the growth, to the future growth of the Israeli high-tech. Well, as you said, 2021, last year, was a great year for the ecosystem here, which broke several records in terms of fundraising, almost $30 billion in terms of capital raised in private and public issues. Counted almost 80 unicorns operating in the country, and for the first time, the high-tech export was more than 50% of the total export of the country and reached $70 billion. So great year. But looking ahead, we do see some immediate and long-term challenges to the ecosystem. The first one is the decrease in number of new startups. As you can see on the graph on the left-hand side, From a peak of 1,400 companies, new companies established in 2014, we have reached a number of 520 in 2020, and we believe that in 2021 it was even a lower number. And also, when we look upon the capital raised, we see that 80% of the money that was raised in 2021 went into 4 sectors, which we all know that Israeli high-tech is very strong at, like enterprise IT, cybersecurity, fintech, retail and marketing, and so on, while the other sectors received only a limited amount of funding. And when I combine these two facts, the decline in number of startups, or new startups, and the decline in and the low funding of other sectors in the high-tech ecosystem, we might be looking at a challenge of diversification. And why is diversification of the Israeli high-tech is so important for us as the agency which is responsible for the government policy? This is because high-tech is not a single market. It's many markets that each one of them is going at a certain point of time through technological disruption, after which there is a steep growth, but later on there is also a period of slow growth and maybe even stagnation, and after that maybe even a slow decline. And if we want to make sure that Israeli high-tech keeps its high growth rates, we must make sure that new markets are being disrupted by Israeli technology, Israeli startups, and so forth. So after reaching this insight, we went on and made an analysis to look for these markets that are going to be disrupted, let's say, in the next decade. And more importantly, we asked ourselves what are going to be the technologies that are going to disrupt these markets. And I want to show you the results of this analysis. And starting with education. Education, for instance, is a market that did not go through major disruptions in the last decades, I would say. But when we look upon the future and try to foresee what's going to happen, we see that it is going to go through disruption. And the main disrupting force is going to be artificial intelligence. When we looked upon food tech, you know that Israel food tech ecosystem has developed very significantly in the last few years and has become one of the leading clusters in the world for food tech. So also here, artificial intelligence is the major disrupting force. There is also adaptive manufacturing and robots and new materials, etc. But still, artificial intelligence by far is the largest or the strongest disrupting force. And this goes also to insurance and electronics and energy and transportation, banking, pharma, and so on and so forth. So the conclusion out of all of that is that AI is going to be a major disrupting force in the next decade in many markets. Many aspects of human existence are going to be disrupted in a positive way by artificial intelligence. A small anecdote, by the way, this analysis was done using artificial intelligence. We have built a tool of artificial intelligence that went on and searched the entire web, and all the web pages, all the market studies, all the academic publications. And actually this tool, this AI tool, came back with the conclusions and the answers that I'm showing on this slide. So after reaching this conclusion, immediately we asked ourselves, so how do we rank in terms of the ecosystem compared to other ecosystems in the world with regards to AI? And actually, the news are quite good. Israel is ranked by the Toto CIMEDIA site as in the 5th place in the world, which is very good. And as you can see, Israel is ranked very high in terms of talent, research, development, commercial application of AI, and this is very good. But at the same time, Israel is ranked quite low in terms of infrastructure and government strategy. And this obviously has to be corrected as soon as possible. And this is why the Israeli government has embarked last year with a new national program for AI infrastructure. The mission of this program is to launch a coordinated effort to promote AI as a means for growth and diversification of the Israeli high-tech. And the national program includes 4 elements. One is building a compute infrastructure. A high-performance computing center will be built in the country to serve the academia and the industry in groundbreaking innovation, research and development. The second element of the program is human capital, to make sure that the ecosystem has enough people with deep understanding of AI, so they can be employed in the different startups and companies. Innovative regulation, we see that many times regulation, which is by definition very conservative, may be an inhibitor to innovation that is derived from artificial intelligence, and this has to be obviously tackled and changed. And last but not least, access to data. The government holds a lot of databases which we need to open up for artificial intelligence analysis and usage, and improve the digital services based on AI to the citizens of the country. We believe that this national plan, combined with the assets and capabilities of the Israeli high-tech ecosystem that I showed just in the previous slide, will really put Israel ecosystem, high-tech startups, investors in the forefront of disruption in the world, and will achieve the goals that we are aiming to achieve. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Dror Bin. Amazing, and we really count on you. You are the future to take us to the next level, and we are going to focus about what you're going to do. With that, we will move now, please, to our next speaker. Is Brigadier General Aviad Dagan, Base Commander for Hatzerim Air Force Base, Commander of the North Command Air Center, and the head of the Air Force Participation Department. Mr. Aviad Dagan, you are here with us? Okay, so we will wait for that until Mr. Aviad Dagan will join us in a few seconds. Dror, is there any other comment that you would like to tell us for that, about your next step?
I'm very happy to be part of this event. I think that the participation rate is amazing. You've counted, I think, 75 representatives from different countries, right?
Correct.
And I believe that our ecosystem here, the local ecosystem, is tightly connected to other ecosystems in the world. I'm very happy to see such participation. And I'm sure that out of this event, we will have lots of cooperations between companies, between academic institutes, and maybe also between governments. And I'm happy, very happy for that.
I'm absolutely sure. And I think that also what we saw from yesterday's sessions, amazing research is done around the world with combination of AI and quantum, AI and healthcare connected to COVID and pandemics. This will be also the next future, taking us to, controlling and better understand and predict what will be and how to handle the future pandemic that will hopefully will not come, but we know that there will be something somewhere is come to us.
Yes, I agree. I think that AI will change our lives in ways that we cannot even imagine at this point of time.
Correct. I think
this is exciting.
And if I can ask you, please, Dror, if you can give from your experience, you are exposed to so many startup companies, you are so deep in the ecosystem. Can you give any insight to someone in the audience which would like to have his own startup in the AI domain, or it's already there and struggling? Can you give some tips for them?
Well, yes, as you said, the Israel Innovation Authority is investing in a lot of startups and development projects in large companies. or something around 2,000 such projects every year. So it's really a great amount. And we have seen in the last few years a growing portion of projects which are employing AI as part of the development. The tip, I think that you are not looking to do something with AI. AI is only the mean, it's the enabling technology. You are looking for a market that you can disrupt, that you can really come with something which is really innovative, which can, change the entire market, the way people consume services or products. And one of the technologies that you employ for that is AI. So don't start from the AI, start from the idea that you have how to disrupt the market and then see how you do it.
I think I'm really connected to what you are saying because in some cases we are seeing different companies looking to what is the hottest Google search word, and they see AI machine learning and they put it somewhere in their portfolio and go around that. I absolutely agree with you. Companies should focus on solving a problem or innovate new area, breakthrough, come in different direction. And if AI is the right technology and approach to solve it and give benefit from using AI and scale and security, privacy, ethics, everything in place, this should be the right to move forward and not start, okay, what we can build in AI. This is not the, this is the opposite direction that we should take. Right. If you compare us from this very nice presentation that you put, in the slide, you present what is happening in other countries. If you would like to project about the next year or two from now, where and to compare to which country you would like to see us going in which direction?
Well, what I've shown in my presentation is known to all governments of the world, right? And we see many governments realizing that technological innovation is the key for the future economy. And having understanding that, they invest a lot in technology innovation in general and specifically in AI. So we do see and foresee also in the coming years governments making heavy investments in AI infrastructure and so forth. As I've shown, where we excel as a country, as an ecosystem, is with the entrepreneurs. The number of people that are launching new startups that are using AI. We excel in talent, in research and development projects. And I believe that we are doing the right things to sustain this leadership compared to the other ecosystems in the world.
We also have a question from the audience to ask you, Dror. But for that, I need my glasses because I need to look at my mobile phone. The question, are there any plans in the IIA to try to bring back many of the high-tech people who moved abroad via relocation, which you see them as a target around that?
Absolutely, yes. And maybe I can use this occasion to call people to come back to Israel. There is a severe shortage in human capital for the entire ecosystem, not just for AI. And we in the Israeli Innovation Authority are now working on a plan to have people that went out, for relocation to work in a company abroad or to study in university abroad. To come back to Israel, we really need you here, and more so, you can make a lot of money here, and you can make great things for humanity from here, and solve great problems. We have many unicorns and many companies that are on the way to become global leading companies managed from Israel. And we need a lot of talent here, a lot of people, and everyone that comes back can really enjoy, I think, a great career here.
Dror, I think this is really inspiring. Thank you very much for sharing this insightful thinking and tips that you brought to us.